limits, Texas. You're looking high above at the virtual iRacing diagram. The architecture that is the Texas Motor Speedway. And with 4 races left to go until the playoffs, the drivers of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series in season number 8 are ready to go. We welcome you to coverage of the Race on Texas 200 from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Coverage on Live Sim Racing LSRTV, your home for sim racing, and on the community radio network at wearecrn.com, audio and broadcast simulcast coverage. I am Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Greg Ransheim from North Carolina. He's from the other part of the U.S. in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. And hey, Texas is this guy's home track. From the heart of Texas in the Wichita Falls at the LSRTV production truck, clicking the buttons, is Charles Wooten. Greg, 4 races to go. Texas, this is a very unique racetrack. We had a very fun race on Monday night. Had that lazy period of where it was just kind of follow the leader, ride and go. Then everything changed in the finish. What a crazy truck race do you think we'll see for these guys tonight?
Oh, I think it's going to be much of the same from Monday night, Wesley, with the fact that these guys are on open setups. That's going to allow these guys to adjust their trucks, make it to where they want it, as opposed to the fixed setup where you're only allowed to make a couple of changes here and there, say gear ratio, steering ratio, and a couple other things. You don't really have much wiggle room in the fixed setup. A lot of space to work with in the open setup, and these drivers are able to put time in to get the trucks how they like it. I think that's going to lead to some green flag runs tonight, and not as big a field as we saw on Monday night either, Wesley.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit down than what it was, but we still have a good field of almost close to 20 trucks. Let's take a look at the Race on Texas 411 race information, bottom left of the broadcast monitor. 30-minute practice is done. Qualifying ongoing right now as you check out the aerial coverage presented by All-American Pools. Tonight's event, 201 miles, and it will be a 134-lap race. Again, this event presented by RaceOnTexas.com. If you're in the Arklatex area, get signed up for that speed pass and more at RaceOnTexas.com. Greg, we look at what we've seen. Sean Breitzman, Lake Peterson, Caden Anderson, obviously the momentum man. He won. He's got, 5 truck wins this year? Obviously, he won the Cup race finally on Monday night. Could we see Caden Anderson sweep the weekend here?
We very well could. He's been very strong in the truck series, knows how to dial in these trucks. And with that big win in the closing stages at Texas on Monday night in the Cup series, you can definitely expect him to be riding that wave of momentum into the truck race tonight. Definitely Anderson is going to be one you're going to have to keep an eye on for sure.
Let's take a look also at the current point standings, if you will, as we're kind of looking at them right now, as we are going to talk about that. But real quickly, I was meaning to say the sawblade.com weather conditions. Look at the Sawblade weather conditions as we get ready for tonight's event. Of course, wow, Greg, 74 degrees, sunny and 75, mostly cloudy, but it is sun over the racetrack right now. A wind speed of 10 miles per hour, 11 miles per hour, still climbing, and 110 for the track temp, almost close to 35 degrees warmer on track temp than it is for the ambient temperature. What is that going to be like for the trucks tonight?
Going to be very, very interesting to watch these drivers try to tighten these trucks up as the race wears on, because it is going to be hot, which means it's going to be loose. These trucks are going to be slipping and sliding around on the surface. This is the new Texas. This is the most updated version of Texas, the current incarnation. The pavement about 3 years old now, but still, it is going to be slippery out there on this hot racing surface. Not quite to say an Atlanta level or a Rockingham level as you'd see with some of those old beat up surfaces, but they're still going to be slipping and sliding around, and they're going to be trying to fight the looseness of the truck as the race wears on.
We've had a total of 57 competitors go at it in the Northwest iRacing Truck Series presented by Tom Denschel Automotive Group. There has been 8 different winners of the season. Of course, the man with the most wins is Caden Anderson at 4. 3 wins. Also with Devin West, 3 wins for Paul Newton. Also 2 wins going for the drivers of Sean Breitzman, who's current points leader, as well as Dan West Jr. And then you've got single wins for Stephen O'Hare, Dennis Moore, as well as Kenneth Garber. So that is a recap of all the good information going on. Sean Breitzman is the points leader. He currently has a 16-point lead over Dan West Jr. Third place is Jeff Stabnow, 57 points back. Anything can happen. He's right there in the cusp of things. Caden Anderson, the Monday Night Cup winner here at Texas, is only 80 points back in 4th. Then you've got Tyler King, the top 5. Devin West, Stephen O'Hare, Dennis Moore, John Ottenbach, and Stephen Paulus and Greg Rentz currently the top 10 in the point standings.
Heating up for a fantastic run to the playoffs here, Wesley, as we're down again 4 races to go, including this one. As soon as that checker flag falls, we're down to our final 3 races of the regular season, and we know from experience that the playoff picture can very, very much heat up. So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch these guys unfold from here on.
And we got to admit, it's going to get aggressive. I think the aggression meter is going to fill to capacity. Patience is going to go sour. And of course, the mindset of trying to make the playoffs is going to be on the brains of everybody. And you've got to somehow do whatever you can. Greg, if you're not going to make it in by points, you've got to get a win. We saw something like that tonight in the S&B Cup Series event at Daytona, where, of course, the driver, Logan Brakey, finally broke through to win. His victory puts him in the playoffs. We're going to see the same thing for the drivers of the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, as after tonight, there's only 3 races left before we have an opportunity to see the playoffs.
And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch it unfold.
Understand it's about fuel window, 45 laps, 50 to 55 laps on tires. The fuel and tire window for all of those guys right there as we get ready to go. We take a quick break. When we come back, we are going racing the trucks at Texas, LSRTV, and a quick word from Tom Denschel Auto Group.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
Here at Texas Motor Speedway as we get ready for what will be round number 18 of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. Aerial coverage, as always, is presented by All American Pools. You see the beautiful side of this racetrack. Greg, we were talking about how the Cup race will differ for the truck race tonight. Can we elaborate more on open and closed setup?
Yeah, the old setup that the Cup cars, or the Truck Series, runs is going to allow these drivers to make adjustments. They've been tweaking on the truck all week, not just since Monday night's Cup race. They've been tweaking on the truck all week long, getting it ready for the race. On Monday night, what we saw was a fixed setup. All drivers on the same setup. They could change the steering ratio, a couple of things in the column. That's about it as far as adjustments that they could make on the cars on Monday night. Now we got the open setup on the trucks, so this is going to make things a lot easier for the drivers to handle because they're going to be able to brake out more how they want to. They're able to work on the trucks like they want to and get the trucks where they want it. So the open setup, yeah, it's kind of a debate. Do you want an open set or a fixed set? And there's advocates for both, and you can argue both sides, but man, I gotta say the open setup has made for some pretty fun racing here in the Truck Series.
It is definitely the. Understanding, we're getting a report from around 10 different drivers that said that the setup is loose and they love it. Loose setup and they love it. Greg, what do you think of that?
I think we're going to see some cars slipping inside and around, and the guys wrestling these trucks around this 1.5-mile track in Fort Worth, Texas. Loose setup. They say loose is fast, and I know a lot of guys prefer to have a truck or a race car on the loose side just a little bit. So maybe this plays into the hands of some of those guys, and I think you're going to see who enjoys this type of racing making their way up to the front, and you'll see how they get up there.
Well, these drivers are getting ready to stage up and ready to go. 134 laps is the distance for the trucks. And they are gridding. And we are ready to introduce the field. 201 miles, 134 laps in the Race on Texas 200. The next round. This will be now 4 races until the playoffs, 3 after tonight. And it is pressure time for a lot of competitors on the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. 1.5-mile racetrack. Of course, the banking is not high banked, if you will, but there is some banking around Texas Motor Speedway. One of the unique things, Samuel, is or Greg, that me and Samuel talked about last week about the Texas race for the S&B Cup Series, and like here tonight for the Northwest Cup and Truck this week, is the fact that it is a double dog leg. It's just like Atlanta or Charlotte. Texas kind of mimics it, but each track has its own type of, if you will, personality, character. It should be fun.
And the fact with this track is you see our starting lineup ready. We'll get to the grid in just a moment, but real quick, just want to say the big difference with Texas, that banking in turn 1 and 2, a lot less than what it has been in the past. They took some banking out of 1 and 2. That is the big characteristic difference of this 1.5-mile racetrack, particular as opposed to Charlotte and Atlanta. But hey, Wesley, we got trucks down on the grid, which means it's about time to introduce you to the starting lineup.
The Team 126 Racing starting lineup, and there he is, looking now for win 5 of the year on the trucks and winner of the Cup race here at Texas on Monday. Caden Anderson from Yakima, Washington is on the pole. To the outside, another Washington native from Hermiston, the 00. Kevin Smith, row number 1. Row number 2, 1 win on the season for the driver of Casey Garber in the 94 machine. To his outside, it's going to be Dan Lowther in the 63. Row number 3, Jeff Stabnow with the 24 from Billings, Montana. To the outside, Briar Reynolds in the number 12. That's row 3. Row 4, Stephen O'Hare in the 41. Dan West Jr. from Shelton, Washington. He's ready to go in the number 55 machine. And to round out your top 10 here at Texas, James Vining, the Catman, and Troy Dackett in the 51.
Rounding out the next group of 10, we start off with Sean Breitzman in the number 46 with Carl Burke to his outside. Breitzman was up there near the end of the race on Monday. Toby Ritters and Tyler King making up row number 7, 13, and 14, with Stephen Paulson, Daytona winner in the Cup Series, alongside rookie Aaron Cooper in the number 71. Robert Gamble in the number 54. Frank Harris in the number 11 make up row number 9. Rounding out the top 20, John Ottenbacher and Russ Lundberg. Only a couple more drivers making out the field, so we'll just run them down real quick. Judd Wakefield, Ryan Bloom making up row number 11, 21, and 22. BJ Tidrick will start shotgun on the field in his Cole Trickle Superflow number 72.
Lights are off on the pace car. It will be 201 miles, as I reiterated on before. 134 laps. Strapping it in, ready to saddle up here in the Lone Star State Virtual iRacing at No Limits, Texas. The pace car dropping down onto the pit lane. Caden Anderson and Kevin Smith side by side. Here they come down to the line. Green in the air. The Virtual Warlords crank them up and send it to turn one. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race and we are kicking the asphalt in No Limits, Texas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here they come across the start finish line. There's my favorite camera, Greg. Yes, sir. Vroom, vroom.
Anderson leads in the number 37, picking up right where he left off on Monday night in the Cup Series with this win. But Kevin Smith at 00, again, we've talked about how much improvement we've seen out of him this season, up in second place. But behind him in third place, Casey Garber, the 94. He finished third on Monday night. He's looking for his second win of the season in the trucks, winning at Atlanta earlier this year. Very similar racetrack to this. Up in the top three early for Garber.
Back straightaway, and we watch Anderson, followed by Kevin Smith right there, 1 and 2, up into the turn number 3. Off of turn 4, side by side, with Garber, Dabnow, O'Hare in that battle. 30.13 seconds, the 94 truck of Casey Garber, fastest on the racetrack, and you see him right now trying to get around. Stabnow holding off O'Hare on the back straightaway.
Stabnow fighting to hold off Garber as Stabnow had gotten around him. This is the battle for third right now as O'Hare and Dan Lowther lurking behind him. Brian Reynolds there in the 12 as well. Reynolds, let's not let the fact go that on Monday he had his career best qualifying effort in that number 12 car outside pole on Monday night, and here he is running up in the front again. The teammate to Casey Garber for Garber's Garage, looking for a strong weekend in Texas.
He certainly did. Man, what a performance, and we'll watch and see how he goes as we watch the rest of the field working their way. We're up to 25. We're halfway at 25 now. By the way, if we can get to 50 live concurrent viewers at one time, 50, we are going to give away $50 to the winner of this race. Oh, I'm sorry. It will be a random driver in the field for this race now. So actually, it will be a random driver in this race. We'll get $50. So do your part. Hit that share button. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And of course, if we can hit 50, some random driver will get $50. Greg, we don't get no money.
Yeah, we had our option taken away from Monday night. Remember, we had our own little side bet on Monday involving money, but
we should have another side bet. What's tonight's side bet going to be? I'm playing. Really? Okay. Well, James Thurston's my new fan. Oh. It's a long shot, Greg Rentz, but anything can happen.
Wesley, he's not even in the race.
My apologies. It is a real long shot. He's not even in attendance tonight. Boy, I stumbled into that one.
Our producer said he'd give us 10. Whoa! Byron Reynolds sliding up the track there in the 12. He's onto it. Nice save. Our producer said if James Thurston won the race, he would give us each $10. Wesley got all kinds of giddy and said, all right, let's go with number 2, James Thurston. He's not even in the race tonight, folks.
Why you got to down me like that for, huh? We're underway in the opening laps here at Texas. It's 134 laps. Right now, Caden Anderson, Jeff Stabnow up to second. Casey Garber third. Stephen O'Hare, Kevin Smith top 5. He's back 3 spots after starting on the outside of the front row. Still a long way to go, though. 125, under 123 to go now here at Texas.
Laps clicking away. Hey, I just got the update from Knoxville that we were trying to follow along on the winner. I'm happy with that one. So Knoxville Nationals off to a good start for me.
Who won, Kyle Larson?
David Gravel.
Hey, David Gravel was on finish line with me this morning, as a matter of fact.
And he also won the Capitani Classic on,
yes, he did.
Over the past weekend. And by the way, last time he did that, he won the Knoxville Nationals 2 years ago, and he just won the opener in Knoxville again. So I like it for David Gravel.
Good driver out of Middletown, Connecticut. Driver the number 2 machine in the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. And a guest that I had on my Fox Sports radio show, Finish Line, this morning. And he did a phenomenal job, and it was just awesome to be able to step away from his racing preparation for the Knoxville Nationals and join me on the show this morning. And congratulations on his win. Caden Anderson still leading. Go ahead, bud.
I was just going to say, I've been a pretty big fan of David Gravel for a few years now. So him winning the Knoxville Nationals back in 2019 was awesome to see, and definitely happy to see him continuing to have success. And it seems like no matter what team he drives for, be it CJB, Jason Johnson, and now of course with the 2 car, any team that he drives for, he seems to always be able to find the loud pedal and put it in victory lane.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, for sure. Up to 27. We need to get hit 50. Random $50 going to a driver in the field. As right now we are closing in on 15 laps completed here, and a few more laps here with 120 to go. As Caden Anderson looking to try to sweep the week here for the Northwest at Texas. He won the Cup race. He's leading right now in the trucks, and he's trying to join what father and son Devin West and Dan West Jr. have done for the season.
Hard to believe they're the only 2 that have done it this season.
That's right.
Sweeping the week. Hard to believe, because last year we had 5 or 6 different drivers do it, and several of them did it multiple times. I'm looking at Sean Breitzman in the number 46. He did it 3 or 4 times last year. So definitely a surprise that only the West family has been able to do it this season. Caden Anderson, though, definitely has to like his chances of doing it. But looking in his mirror, he sees Stabnow closing in that number 24. Man, this is going to be interesting to see these 2 battle it out here in the middle stages of this one.
Back straightaway, there you see them. Those 3 white trucks, led by Anderson from Yakima, Washington, to the inside. Billings, Montana, number 24, the Ford. Jeff Stabnow. Casey Garber, 1 win on the season. He's also there. Caden, by the way, Caden Anderson is the most wins at 4 on the year. What a year he's had in the trucks, Sam. Me and Greg, and we were talking about that in pre-race, is just, carrying that momentum from winning the race on Monday night, and struggled to get a Cup win. Finally got that, but he has got no problems in the trucks, as right now Garber gets around Stabnow for the 2nd bridesmaid spot.
And it's funny because if you think back to last year, it was the opposite for Caden Anderson. He got 2 wins in the Cup Series, but struggled to close the deal in the Truck Series. Many second places, many thirds, but never a win in the Truck Series. It was not till this year, that win at Las Vegas earlier the year, that was Anderson's first career truck victory. Now leads the series with 4, picking up right where he left off. Got that Cup monkey off the back here this past Monday night. We'll see if he can hold on here, but it's still early, and he's got some hungry greyhounds behind him, including this guy, Casey Garber, who got that win in Atlanta in the second race of the year. But it has been a strong season otherwise, and Garber wants to show that, hey, he can get it done in this series, and that win in Atlanta was not a fluke. And he's one of the top mini stock drivers in real life here in the Northwest as well. So Garber wants to show that he can transfer that success from real life over to the iRacing realms.
Yeah, it's still far from over, definitely, as we have still got a lot of racing here left to go. As right now out in front is, of course, that driver that we mentioned of Caden Anderson. This race, 134 laps, 20 laps were on the board right now. A nice clean run, I would say. Gregory, what do you think? We're about 30 laps away to green flag pit stops, possibly, if we don't get a caution. About 30, 35 laps, maybe?
I'd say 25, 30 probably. I won't be surprised to see someone try to short pit and set themselves up off a different strategy. We saw some guys going off sequence on Monday night, so I would not at all be surprised to see if we see more of the same tonight.
Yeah, we just saw Tyler King come to the pit lane. Judd Wakefield also pitted on lap 16. So maybe those guys out of sequence right now. But it says Judd Wakefield's pitted. He's one lap down. Yeah, Judd Wakefield left pit lane. No, I meant Judd Wakefield. I'm sorry. As we watch the 113 laps to go now. And the leader is actually closing in on the 23rd place truck of Judd Wakefield, about to put him possibly 2 laps down on the racetrack. Down the back straightaway now, Greg.
Not the start to the race that Judd Wakefield was looking for in that number 50. As there he is trying to pull away from Anderson there in the Vape Hub Toyota. Trying to pull away there from Anderson and company, 1 lap down, just trying to hold on and see if he can catch a caution, get himself a lucky dog, get himself back on the lead lap, and he's right back in this thing. However, the way this race is going so far, looking pretty clean and green right now as the field's spread out here.
Field off turn 2, down the back straightaway. Anderson, Garber. Are they teammates?
No.
Their trucks look so similar, but they're not teammates.
No, they're good friends in real life, but not teammates. Garber runs for Garber's Garage as he's got to run on the inside of Caden Anderson. Gets the left sides in the grass, but I think he led the lap just barely into number 94. He's not going to leave any doubt, though, as he's going to clear Anderson for the lead, but Anderson's going to fight back on the outside. And look at the side draft there by Anderson through 1 and 2. Side by side, Casey Garber and Caden Anderson side by side for the lead.
Side by side, that goes on again. Watching them as they come back to start finish.
Whoa, Stab now with a big slide. He's mowing the grass off of.
Oh, that's not good. Almost in the grass to Stab now. He'll lose some more ground. Wonder if we can grab a replay of that possibly on our Pulse Poppers. New lead change battle for the lead. Garber after Anderson on the inside, going to 3, and a wingman O'Hare is there with them in the corner.
By the way, Stephen O'Hare won 2 races on mile-and-a-half racetracks last year, including one right here at Texas back last March of 2020. So Stephen O'Hare knows how to get it done at this racetrack as well. 3-truck battle for the race lead.
Back off into the corner attitude, back straightaway inside. Garber is there. Anderson a little wiggle there for a second. He got a little momentum lost up on the top. Give that lead back to Garber on the bottom. Anderson, though, fighting back on the top shelf of the Angels Expressway. Here they come. O'Hare closing in. Almost a 3-truck battle. Throw a blanket over them as they come back to the stripe. Give it to Anderson on the outside by mere inches as they go back to 1. And it looks like Garber might start to pull away in 2, but Anderson coming right back out of the back straightaway.
Garber just so strong on entry, but Anderson through the center, able to hold it in the gas a little bit more on the high side, and is able to side draft right back to Garber. But watch Garber on entry right there. Seems to be Garber's strong point. Entry to the corner, but there's Anderson fighting back, using that side draft, and they will drag race down to the finish line again as they cross the line. That time it was Garber on the bottom. Does he have him cleared off of turn number 4 this time? He's clear, but I don't know if he can get up there. Yes, he will. Garber finally clears.
Yeah, and Anderson slipped. Anderson just slipped a little bit coming off of that corner, and this is going to open up the door now for P2. As here comes now Stephen O'Hare to the inside of Anderson.
O'Hare, 4 career truck wins, 1 this year at Pocono in the Truck Series, 3 last year for O'Hare, including that first career win, which came at Texas last year, this racetrack. So O'Hare knows how to get it done. On these mile and a halves, he's fighting for second with Anderson, the early leader.
We watch this going on to the back straightaway, the third turn. There goes Tyler King. Remember, Tyler King had some bad luck in the Cup race on Monday night. And now he's showing his strength in that Pills Orange's number 21 machine, clearing around Dan West Jr.
West Jr., kind of a quiet night thus far for the defending Truck Series champion. As there you see the battle again for second between Anderson and O'Hare. O'Hare going to fall in line and set up another run. The Stab now watches it all unfold. Behind him in 4th, there is the Montana man. Lurking in the 4th spot, just watching them battle and letting the race come to him.
There goes Stab now. Well, that goes on that battle between... Caution is out. Lap 31, yellow flag somewhere on the speedway. First caution of the night. Possibly Troy Daggett might be involved in 51. We are going to deck it out and see what happened. Toby Ritter's in the 51. It's sound, or the 23. We were showing Troy Daggett in the 51, but it looks like it's possibly Toby Ritter's in the 23.
Oh, he got loose off of 2 and got up against the wall.
Problems for Clifford. There you see. Wow.
Got loose.
He just stopped.
He got loose and scraped the wall just a little bit off of turn 2.
Caution out. Well, we're about 20 laps shy to the pit window. Greg Ranch, you think anybody's coming into the pit lane on lap 32? What do you think, brother?
Oh, sure. Why not? You'll see the field come in and top off on fuel. You got about 100 laps to go when we go back to green flag. You can probably cut the race in half by then. So I would say, yeah, I'm going to say we're seeing everyone come.
Here they come. Pace car. Looks like he's being left all by his lonesome as Garber and Anderson. O'Hare. All coming down to the pit lane for the first time tonight. They got to make sure they drop down to that speed, not speeding on pit road. And they're all coming into their pit stalls, ready for service. Almost the entire cavalry, except for Judd Wakefield and Toby Ritter's pitting. All 21 trucks on the lead lap. Greg, in front of you on pit road.
You see the tires being changed on these trucks. Garber away, Anderson away.
Wow.
Looks like Anderson's going to win the race off of pit road. And Stephen O'Hare in the 41, nowhere to be seen.
He come out 7th.
Struggling on pit road. He may have slid through his pit box.
Coming out 7th for Stephen O'Hare there. Going to check in on the driver out of Yakima, Washington, and get his thoughts on how things are going so far. Of course, he's got 4 wins this year on the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. Won the Cup race on Monday. Caden Anderson, what's your thoughts on sweeping it, bud? You're doing good so far.
I think we have a pretty good truck. We have to do some work on the long run here, but we're making some adjustments, and hopefully we can be there at the end on the long run.
Greg, you got anything for Caden Anderson?
Caden, looked like you picked up right where you left off there on Monday night. And you said the truck not quite there on the long run yet, but on the short run, it definitely looks very fast. Do you think this race is going to be a race of long run, kind of like what we saw, or do you think this is going to turn into a caution-free caution race?
You know, that's a good question. Particularly in the cup races, we'll have a couple of long runs there, and then towards the end we'll get some few cautions right in a row. So I don't know if it's going to be like it was on Monday night, but I'm kind of hoping we have a short run so I can stay out front.
All right, buddy. We'll keep an eye on you and see. We'll see how things go for sure. Definitely, man. Go get them, and got a lot of momentum coming off of that win on Monday night, cup win. And what would it mean in closing to obviously sweep kind of like what only the West family's done this year for the cup and truck?
It'll be a lot going into the championship rounds. I feel like having as much momentum as you can going into these races really prevails towards the end of the season. So if we can pick up a win here tonight, that'd be pretty huge.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Go get them.
Thank you.
Rest of the way. That's the driver, of course, of Aiden Anderson. Part of our in-car, in-truck communication, if you will. But you know what, though? We still got 100 laps to go, Greg. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Long way to go here, about 100 laps to go. But here's the thing now, if this thing goes green the rest of the way, with that pit window being about what it is, you can almost cut this race in half now. We were saying pit window about 50, 55 laps. You could cut it in half from here if it goes green on one more pit stop. So that's why I'm not surprised to see everyone come in.
Just got confirmation from one of the drivers on the track. They said it, and I quote their words, not mine. Truck is loose as hell.
Loose as HE double hockey sticks after about 15 laps. About what we
love
talked
hockey.
about in the pre-race with this hot temperature and the hot track surface being up in the triple digits. Not at all surprised to be hearing that.
Hashtag we love hockey, just like hashtag we love iRacing. Lights are off on the pace car. Hey, by the way, if you're interested in joining us on the LSRTV team, whether you want to be a announcer or producer, message us on Facebook or at Live Sim Racing, LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or at livesimracing.com, and we'll make it happen. Come join our squad. Field will make their way back to the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Anderson will pull away from the field. 2 truck lengths behind Garber. Stab now back on the bottom after O'Hare and Moore. And Tyler King in that mix. Green flag back out, and Anderson is gone.
You see the lead that Anderson was able to shoot out to here on this initial restart. He said when we talked to him a moment ago, he loves the truck on the short run, and he's hoping for kind of a caution race here for tonight so he can stay with the short runs. But man, it's showing why right now, because he was able to open up big time over Stab now and Garber to third. I'm keeping my eyes on that yellow and blue number 41 right there at the back, Stephen O'Hare. He was up battling for the lead as well when that caution came out. So let's see if he can get himself back up in the mix as his teammate Tyler King gets up there on Kevin Smith.
Anderson there, back straightaway into that third turn. Caden Anderson, Jeff Stabnow, Casey Garber, Smith, King, top 5. Here they come back across start finish.
You can see the field already beginning to close in on Anderson as they go side by side for the second spot between Stabnow and Garber. Garber taking a peek on the outside. Garber likes the bottom of that number 94 truck. Stabnow, though, he's able to go on defense. We saw a little bit of this on that first run. Stabnow was able to keep Garber at bay, but it seemed like that number 94 seems to be the best truck on the long run so far, Wesley.
Stabnow crossed the line. He's in that number 2 spot. Anderson leads. Casey Garber there, single file. By the way, if you're hearing me talk and my voice does not sound as usual, somebody actually just messaged me and said, are you sick? What's going on with you? No, I'm not sick. Literally, like within the first 10 minutes of being on the air, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it went down the wrong, what do you call it? The wrong
pipe.
the wrong pipe, if
Wesley
you will.
took a sip of tea and it went down.
And I
the
started
wrong pipe.
choking on it for sure. And I'm wondering if I choked too much and coughed too much, that I might have damaged something in my voice box. and Charles, our producer, laughs at us about it. But I mean, you know, you can damage your voice box, Greg. Our voice is an instrument. This is what we do to make a living, and you got it. No, not SpongeBob. You know what I mean, Greg. You're an announcer.
I know what you mean. Check your text messages. You're
I
welcome.
swallowed wrong. Yeah, I swallowed wrong.
You weren't supposed to read that over there.
Well, I mean, I was drinking sweet tea and swallowed wrong, okay? That's what I'm saying. So, please, I'm not sick. Just, I don't know. I don't know if I damaged my...
What
Okay.
in the world was that?
I was just grabbing my throat. So...
It's
41 of 134. Caden
Fish, fish
Anderson.
noises, not sponge noises.
I'm not going to go there. You'll try. Back straight away with Caden Anderson. Jeff Stab now. Casey Garvin. You know, this new broadcast setup is supposed to be keeping him quiet. He messed it apart. Lap 42. Here they come across the line. Hey, by the way, we're up to 32 live viewers. We hit 50. Somebody randomly in the field's going to win $50. Hit that share. Hit that like. Bring in your people. And while you're doing that, subscribe to LSRTV.
You take a look at the Catman, James Vining. It's been a while since we've seen James Vining. He's been out of a few races. Maybe the cat was not allowing him to race. The cat threatened him, saying, "You know what? If you race, I'm just going to cause you to wreck again."
Well, that doesn't sound very nice. 90 laps to go next time by, and let's see. Caden Anderson's leading the way. While we're doing that, let's just go ahead and give you
battle for the lead.
Wow, battle for the lead. We'll stay on this right now.
Stab now on the
I was
outside.
going to say full field rundown, but we're going to go to the battle for the lead as Anderson is under attack. Jeff Stab now. I went into the box during pre-race, Greg, and I said, tonight's the night. Jeff, go get him. Tonight's the night. Could tonight be the night for the 24?
Yeah, and then he said, "Get out of here."
Well.
As they roll down the backstretch, Stab now in the 24, looking to size up Anderson. And again, Anderson said not exactly happy with this truck on the long run. He's happy with it on the short run, but here we are about 10, 15 laps into this run now. And Stab now looking high into number 24, Garber. Behind him in the 94. Remember, Garber has been the strongest on the long run so far.
Down the back. down the back straightaway. Stab now trying to get around Anderson for the lead. O'Hare is in that other pack of trucks along with King and Smith. And we've got 3 trucks in 2 packs. As Anderson, Stab now, Garber right there. You see him. And we got a truck on the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, man, the cat man.
He's got damage. Did the cat attack him? Did the cat get out?
James Vining just got attacked by a virtual feline. He's on the pit lane for service in that damaged 333 Toyota.
It wasn't virtual. It's a distinct possibility he got attacked by a real feline.
Yeah, kitty.
Sliding
Tough
in.
break for James Vining.
Ooh, West Jr.
Wow, Dan West Jr. on lane. We didn't see that. That came out of nowhere.
He's a playoff driver. That's a big one. He has to take the fast repair.
Wow. And honestly, Dan West Jr. has already won. He's advanced into the playoffs. But he wants to have a good run, obviously. Looking for his 4th win of the season. He's got 3 wins so far.
You see Stephen O'Hare in the number 41 trying to fight his way back up. Was up as high as 3rd, battling for the race lead. Up back into the top 5 after, I believe he may have slid through his pit box on pit stops there. under that caution. Had to restart in 7th, has fought his way back into the top 5, got around Kevin Smith. 1 win on the year for Stefan O'Hare. That came at Pocono earlier in the year. Oh, a little bit of, what is it you say, Wesley? Inky blink and nod on the 00 of Smith.
Inkin, blinkin, nod, as I always say. There goes Kevin Smith. He's right now outside the top 5 of the 6th position. Dave Fan out single file. And Anderson still leading the way there as we are lap 50. Sawblade.com, top 5. There they are with Anderson, Stabnow, Garber, Tyler King, O'Hare, top 5. We go side by side. You don't miss a thing. More of the drivers of the Northwest trucks when we return from Texas. LSRTV and the Community Radio Network.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch. Here comes Jamie Frederick.
Welcome back. Texas lap 53. Caden Anderson still leading that number 1 spot of the 37 truck. Two truck lengths back is still Garber. 1 truck length back behind him is Stabnow. By the way, drivers in green, Greg, they're going to the playoffs.
They are locked in to the playoffs, and we've only got 3 more races after this one.
That's right.
To settle it down. Garber's gotten around Stabnow for that 2nd spot. And now he's going after Anderson. Again, that number 94 is strong on the long runs. Right about this point of the run last time, around lap 20, that we really started seeing that 94 heat up. Now, it took him about 5 laps to complete that pass on Anderson on that first run. We'll see what happens this time. This time, he might be thinking the high side might be the way to go on Anderson.
Next week, it's Phoenix. Then it's Kentucky. Talladega, a regular season finale. And then we take off for Labor Day. And then we come back on September the 10th with the round of 12. September the 13th and September the 15th for the Cup and Truck Series at Indianapolis on the road course. And then the next week, Greg, we turn around and go race on the big speedway, Iowa, Atlanta. That's just round number 1 of the round of 12 playoffs. Some
very, very, very different styles of racing here on the first round of the playoffs. A little bit of everything.
By Thanksgiving, November the 17th, we should know the champion on the 15th for the Cup, the 17th for the trucks. Who will it be? And Greg, this seems like this year, my friend, has flew by, for sure.
It really has. I mean, I didn't even realize we were already in the final push of the playoffs until last week. I was like, what? We're in the final push? Oh, Garber's in the wall. 94
no.
Garber trying to make a pass on Anderson
save.
and caught the wall.
What a save by Stabnow to miss him. He'll move to second. Garber losing ground.
A lot of damage to that number 94 truck.
By the way, 10 laps to halfway. Lap 67 will be halfway. 76 to go as they just cross the stripe. Let's give you your full field rundown right now as they stand on the speedway just approaching after lap 50. Caden Anderson leads, Jeff Stabnow second, Tyler King is third. Casey Garber, after bouncing off the wall, has fell back to fourth, and Stefan O'Hare the top 5. Kevin Smith is sixth. John Brightsman, 7th. Robert Campbell, 8th. Stephen Paulus, 9th. And Greg Rentz, BJ Tidrick is your top 10.
Tidrick, by the way, started shotgun on the field, 23rd to 23. He's up in the top 10. Nice run for Cole Trickle, Superflow. Coming in the 11th spot right now is, who is that? My screen's a little bit glitchy. I think it's Ryan Bloom in the 25.
Yes.
Yep. Then Carl Burke, Troy Daggett, John Ottenbacher, Dan Lowder, who started up in the top 5, kind of struggling a little bit as you see Stephen O'Hare go to the bottom there on Casey Garber. Frank Harris in the 11, Judd Wakefield in the 50 and 17th. Caught that lucky dog on that caution back on the lead lap, trying to pick his way up through the field. Aaron Cooper, Toby Ritters, and Briar Reynolds, who had such a strong start to the race, unfortunately mired back in 20th right now, a lap down. Dan West Jr., James Vining, and rounding out the field is Ritters, so I apologize. I misread that position in the 19th spot.
Yeah, Russ Lundberg is in the 19th position.
129.
Yeah, Toby Ritters is 31 laps down. Not a good night for Clifford here at Texas. Everybody all nestled in as they work their way to the back straightaway. The leaders are. There's about 5 trucks in that pack. Closing in on the leader, the interval almost 2 seconds. There you see him, led by Garber in the back. And there's Stab now, trying to reel in Caden Anderson. That's Washington and Montana battling for position on the racetrack. Back to turn 1, Greg.
As they continue to battle for the race lead, Anderson and Stabnow closing in on about that part of the long run that Anderson's truck really started to fall off, and we saw Garber putting pressure on before he caught the wall. See what Stabnow's got for him, the Montana man, in the number 24. Again, still looking for that first win of the season is Jeff Stabnow in the 24.
And mind you, there is still a long way to go. Close it in on halfway for that matter. Back straightaway. Drivers in green, including Anderson, O'Hare, Garber, Brightsman, and West. They're all in the playoffs. 3 races remaining after tonight. We go to Phoenix.
Remember, Phoenix served as the finale to the season last year, so
yes,
that's got to favor the guy who won the race, Dan West Jr., in the number 55. But swapping spots with Las Vegas on the schedule this year, the championships will go to Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. So the race that served as the finale last year, Phoenix, that's coming up next week. A Stabnow breaks loose off of 4.
And I find it unique also that the finale for the S&B Cup Series, which, by the way, you see on Wednesday night before the Northwest action, they start the playoffs next week at Martinsville. Their championship finale, Greg, is going to be at Iowa Speedway.
That's going to be fun. I love that racetrack, Iowa. A track that the Cup Series does not go to, IRL. So always love seeing Cup cars there at Iowa. And always one of the best races of the year in the Northwest Series. So the SMB Championship race is definitely going to be a lot of fun at Iowa.
Just after halfway coming up. Halfway next time by. And we will officially have the first half of this race completed. Greg, your thoughts of the race so far here in Texas? It's been kind of quiet.
It's a quiet night, but it's been interesting watching the race kind of come and go. Drivers letting the race come to them, like Stabnow. Stephen O'Hare fighting back to 3rd now after we presume to be a little bit of an incident on pit road. He's fought back to 3rd. Garber, the 94, had to be considered one of the best cars of the day. Now he's struggling right now, hoping to catch here a chance to pit soon so he can get that fast repair, try to get himself worked back up in there. He's hoping to catch a caution right now so he doesn't lose all that position on the racetrack and get himself back in the mix.
There is 00 Kevin Smith. That's in 5th position. Casey Garber, after bouncing off the wall, right there behind him. got in the wall and kind of settled in, and so far he's calm now. He's doing good. Gotta wonder how much damage, if any, Greg, was done to the truck number 94 as we see Kevin Smith working in front of him off of turn 4.
Kevin Smith. How about it for Smith? Another strong run for that number 00 out of Hermiston, Oregon in the 00, trying to hold on a top 5 run right now. Still searching for that first truck win. Remember, there was a race not too long ago. He was leading at the white flag in the trucks. So Kevin Smith, he's been knocking on the door. I think he's got a win coming here before the end of the year if he can hold on correctly.
Back across turn 4, start finish line. And looking now, Caden Anderson on the inside. That's the leader. Lap traffic up in front. He's starting to clear lapped cars, lap trucks. One by one. That's a lap truck in front of Jeff Stabnow. Oh, and he about pulled down in front of Stabnow. Boy, quick evasive driving to the 24.
It's the 129 of Lundberg. I don't think he saw Stabnow and realized that he had a truck in his mirror and moved out of the way, took evasive action. But nice job there by Stabnow to keep it all together there as Anderson begins to pull away.
Trying to keep an eye on him here. Back off of that corner, down the back straightaway. There's Stabnow. Jeff Stabnow. Coming down to the front straightaway through the double dog leg. After halfway, we rest our voices. The trucks are full song around No Limits, Texas, and extended. Kick of the asphalt, and we also approach lap 73, this roaring speed lap in memory of one of the golden voices of American motorsports, Bob Jenkins. Godspeed to Bob Jenkins, passed away on Monday of brain cancer at the age of 73, and continuing to rock and roll around Texas as Caden Anderson is leading. Greg, we might have green flag pit stops coming up, I feel.
I think we're getting close to that window to cut the race in half. I think we're about 10 or less laps away from that. This is the battle for second. Stephen O'Hare inside step now O'Hare's in the wall, and I think you're starting to see that these guys need some tires because you're starting to see more and more drivers break loose on exit. This time it's O'Hare breaking loose and getting the wall.
Back straight away. Into that third turn, that is Stephen O'Hare. Here comes trucks on the pit lane. Carl Burke Normally in Carolina blue, he's changed his colors. Carl Burke on the pit lane of the 53 coming in. And here we go, Greg. Green flag pit stops.
We are underway. Carl Burke brings the Rocket Racing 53 down onto pit road for 4 Goodyear Eagles. And a splash of Sunoco race fuel. Down and away. Casey Garber rolling off in the 94. You knew he was going to be one of the first ones down because of that damage to the 94. He's got that fast repair. Now he's going to go out and try to get that spot back.
Field has began a cycle of green flag pit stops. There's the second place man, Jeff Stabnow. It has been a roller coaster up and down, and honestly more down than good since mid last year. Punched his ticket into the playoffs, got eliminated in the first round in Cup and Truck. Good times, then go bad. He's had poles, but Greg, no wins. Could tonight finally happen for the driver out of Billings, Montana, Jeff Stabnow? And even though it's been a rough season, he's still third in the point standings. So talk about consistent. 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s, but he wants a win. More trucks on the pit lane.
He wants to win bad, get that monkey off his back and get some momentum going for him as Ottenbacher, his teammate, slides in the number 89 into his pit stall as you saw BJ Titter rolling away. My question is Anderson in the 37. Seems to me like he's got the long run figured out now on the number 37. When does he pit in this number 37? The only one that I know of that's not a question mark is Sean Brightsman, the 46. I can tell you the answer. He's going to go until that truck is out of fuel in the number 46 to try to set himself up for the shortest run possible here if this thing stays green. So that question is answered right there. Sean Brightsman's going to stretch it as far as he can. Anderson, Stabnow, O'Hare, that's a little bit more of a question mark, especially O'Hare. I figured we would have seen him come on the pit road a little bit sooner after getting that damage to the right side of the truck.
Anderson still hitting his marks, leading the way. Stabnow right there. You got to wonder where they're going to pit. There's more lap trucks separating. Boy, I thought Stabnow just hit the wall. I think Stabnow might have hit the wall coming out of turn 4. We'll check it. But anyhow, he is still in second. Couple of lap trucks he's clearing. Jeff Stabnow, 2.5 seconds back down to the leader, Anderson. And they've all got to pit. Greg, money stop. What do you think when they come in?
If it stays green, money stop. If we get a caution, they're going to pit again. Here comes Stabnow. Second place, Jeff Stabnow.
And I don't know if it's a possibility if our producer can go back and check, but I'm really thinking Stabnow hit the wall out of turn 4 before he came down to the pit lane the previous lap. And in doing so, Greg, he wasn't taking any chances. Oh, yeah, he did it. Look at him pancaked on the right side. You can see where he ate the concrete.
Fast repair, new truck, Stabnow ready to roll.
Back out. Gotta love that fast repair. And we have a cycle of green flag that stops underway. And it's not done yet. Oh, he just, like Ghost, driving through the pace car.
Here comes Brightsman. I'm surprised. I figured Brightsman would have stayed out as long as humanly possible, but he's coming down a little bit early here, Wesley. Paulson, the leader. Anderson, the race leader, comes down pit road. Brightsman overshot his pit box.
Wow.
Just a hair.
The points leader. Brightsman overshooting the pit stall. He's all right, though. Here comes everyone else. Judd Wakefield in. Truck's a couple of laps down or more. Coming in for service. Robert Gamble is in. There goes Ryan Bloom. Sean Brightsman, The man in the number 1 seed doing a phenomenal job this year in both Cup and Truck, Greg. What can we say about Sean Brightsman, defending Cup Series champion? And he even gave an opportunity. He gave it a fit to try to win the Truck Championship from Dan West Jr.
Yeah, remember the Hail Mary that he had to throw at this racetrack just to get into the playoff championship.
It was here at Texas
last year. It was here at Texas. He won the Cup race. Did he not sweep the weekend? If I recall, he had to sweep the weekend to get in, and he did that to get into both championship finales. So Brightsman knows a special thing about this racetrack. So definitely.
So here's the thing: he was moving from Puyallup, Washington, down to Tucson, Arizona. He missed a week because in addition to moving, he took a week vacation and he missed one of those races. And in doing so, he missed Iowa. You're exactly right. He missed Iowa. And in doing so, he had to win one of the races, which was right here at Texas, the next to last race in the playoffs to the championship finale at Phoenix. And he did it on both the Cup and the Truck Series. He won the championship at Phoenix for the Cup. He came in second, I believe, for the Truck Series championship to Dan West Jr.
What an unbelievable rally by Brightsman, and it worked out with a championship. I think Brightsman said that was his first championship in the series, was that Cup Series title. So it was definitely a big one for Brightsman, who's the all-time winningest driver in Northwest Racing Series history, and he has just added plenty to that total this year. But right now, Anderson continues to lead. However, we know Brightsman likes to roll the dice. The question is, can he do it from here out?
Battle. Working now lap number 90. Next time by. 45 laps to go. Rocking and rolling. Green flag pit stops. We still await the leaders to come in. We saw Stabnow come in.
Everyone's been on pit road, Wesley, so it's on from here.
Oh, yeah. There we go. I was wondering if there was any other takers that needed to pit, but we've cycled it all around, so there you go. And there is Tidrick, who's currently in the top 5 at 72.
By the way, he started dead last, 23rd of 23, and he has climbed into the top 5. Finished second here on Monday. What a weekend for BJ Tidrick.
How awesome would it be for BJ Tidrick if he was able to win this event? Sitting in a very comfortable spot right now. As we approach lap 100. But it's been all Caden Anderson continuing to dominate at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway, trying to join the father-son West family that also swept the year at Richmond for Dan West Jr. and for Devin West at Bristol in the Cup and Truck race on dirt. Side by side as we approach lap 100, your saw blade top 5, Caden Anderson. Casey Garber bouncing off the wall. He's back to second. Kevin Smith with a great run. He's in third. Jeff Stabnow. New truck after bouncing off the wall before pitting in fourth. And as we just showed you, the Superflow colors. Remember Days of Thunder? Cold Trickle? That's what the truck looks like of BJ Tidrick in your top 5. We take you to the checkered flag when we return. LSRTV and CRN Sports coverage of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series from No Limits, Texas.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch. Here comes Jamie Frederick.
Every customer, every single time needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch. Here comes Training Partner.
Ready to bring this one to the finish. Look at Jeff Stab now. He is after Casey Garber for second. Greg Rentz. He's cleared him in turn one.
Stabnow and Garber, they have had a fantastic battle here over the last pretty much this whole race, as it kind of went away a little bit as Garber hit the wall. He fought his way back to second, but now Stabnow fights back to get second away from Garber, but they are a long ways back from Caden Anderson right now, and they need to start digging if they want to get back up there in the closing stages.
And it is not done yet. This race continues on. Approaching lap 100. 35 laps to go. Welcome back to coverage. The Northwest iRacing Truck Series on your home for sim racing. For those that are watching on LSRTV. For those that are listening on the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com. Craig Rentz, Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten in the production chair. And it is go time. 35 laps to go. Approaching lap 100 next time by. And Caden Anderson. Does anybody got anything for KA? Could Jeff Stabnow be the man? He's reeling him in the 24, Greg, for second.
He's got to put his head down and dig, though, in that number 24. It is a long ways back from Anderson to Stabnow. You're looking at Garber right now in third. How about Kevin Smith in fourth? Great run for him as you take a look at some action up at the front as Anderson tries to pick his way through lap traffic. There's the 0-0 of Smith. What a job he has done in this 0-0 truck right now. Up in the top 5, trying to get himself a podium. What a night it's been for Kevin Smith. The Hermiston, Oregon driver may have a shot here.
So Anderson is leading. There's Anderson. Well, that's actually Casey Garber. There's Anderson. Anderson just crossed the start-finish line. Let's pick up Jeff Stabnow, who is in second. He is right there. Almost 3 seconds back, if that. Does he got enough time? With 33 laps to go now, Greg, as we approach past lap 100.
Plenty of time, but the problem is what's going to happen on this race. Is Anderson going to be able to keep his pace up? Will Stabnow find something that Anderson maybe hasn't found yet? Are we going to get cautions late in the race? There's so much that can happen with 33 laps to go still. Long way to go, but plenty of time. This one by no means is over yet, but right now it's looking very much like Anderson is sitting pretty. But, again, still 30-something laps to go.
Ryan Bloom trying to go after Tidrick for that spot. This is now for 7th and 8th. Tidrick on the inside of Ryan Bloom. There he is in the Monster Energy number 25. Down to the inside, Tidrick, and here comes Sean Brightsman. Back in that mix. Carl Burke, you count him. That's your top 10. What a run, Greg, for Carl Burke. He's in 10th.
Great run for Burke in the 53. Needs a top 10 in that number 53 Rocket Racing entries. You look at Bloom and Tidrick right now battling it out. Lower parts of the top 10 right now. This is about for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Is Tyler King up there as well? No, excuse me. That's Sean Brightsman in the number 46 on the inside of Tidrick. 2 of the Cup finalists from last year. Of course, we talked about Brightsman winning that championship. Tidrick was in the Final 4 in that one. So these two battled it out for the championship as they try to get around Russ Lundberg in the 129. Dan Lowther and Seth Frazier were the other drivers in the playoff hunt on that one. The Truck Series finals were the West family, Brightsman, and Stephen Paulison, who won Daytona, made his way into the Truck Final Four last year.
Anderson stab now, followed by Smith. Here comes Sean Brightsman. Brightsman on the inside, looking for a run on Tidrick. Tidrick with a good run for him. By the way, he was the Montana 200 winner, B.J. Tidrick. We had him on finish line a couple weeks ago. And Brightsman will clear past Tidrick. Well, I tell you what, Greg, another big race coming up, Meridian Raceway. I was talking with Jeremy Anders about it the other day. Boy, looking forward to that one. That should be a big show.
I can't wait for the trip to Meridian. Second year going to that. I cannot wait for the Idaho 208. 200.
Are you in the booth, or are you just going to be a fan and relax and drink some cold ones?
As of now, I'm going to be a fan drinking some cold ones. But, yeah, you never know what will happen, right?
Put Greg to work.
Yeah, at this moment, I'm going as a fan. But, hey, you never know.
You need to contact my buddy Kyler Hope. See if he can put you on that. Do what?
I love Kyler.
Yeah, Kyler's a great guy.
Got to see him a few times this year. Wenatchee, saw him at Evergreen. Don't think I've seen him at Hermiston yet. Hoping I get to see him on Labor Day. But yeah,
he was my ENG at Charlotte at the World Finals, and also at Nashville and Pensacola for the Snowflake 100. We worked together, so he's Kyler's a great guy. Here we go. Look at Kevin Smith and Casey Garber now. This is going on for third. What a run for the Hermiston, Oregon driver. Great run for Kevin Smith.
I'm hoping I get to meet Mr. Smith on Labor Day that I was talking about for a moment at Hermiston there. I'm hoping I get to meet Mr. Smith because he has done so much for the series, helping get that deal with Tom Denchel Auto Group to become the titular sponsor of the series. That would not have been possible without Kevin Smith. So a huge thank you to Smith for everything he's done. And here he is having a great run up on the podium now. Fantastic run so far for Smith. Could he get himself a podium tonight?
And we certainly appreciate Tom Denchel Automotive Group for what they have done and being a sponsor of this series greatly. Thanks again to Tom Denchel Automotive Group for what they do for the Northwest Cup and Truck Series. 3 races to the playoffs. Gotta wonder if West Bay Napa Auto Parts are going to come back and be a sponsor for the playoffs like they were last year. That was really cool.
Oh, we may have to get the ball rolling on that. See if we can make that happen.
And if you are interested in being a sponsor, whether it be as a race sponsor, sponsoring a race or a series title, or you want to sponsor the grid or the lineup or weather or move of the race or any kind of things that our producers could think of, contact us directly at livesimracing.com, and we definitely will make it happen for you. Anderson leads. Stab now is second. The interval has not changed by much, as now we got Garber and Kevin Smith running each other all over the racetrack for the third spot.
This is for a spot on the podium. Fantastic stuff from Smith and Garber. Best battle on the racetrack right now is the battle for third between Kevin Smith and Casey Garber.
23, now make it 22 to go. Next time by on lap number 111. Caden Anderson still leading with Jeff Stab now 2.80 seconds back, and that has been pretty much the interval between the top two for a while. Caden Anderson, Greg, looking to try to sweep here in Texas. He won the Cup race on Monday, but Jeff Stab now, he is coming hot and heavy, trying to clear lap trucks like the 63 of Dan Lowther, representing the Old Glory proudly, the American flag on the back of that truck. And now Stab now gets around him. Can he run down the 37? Time is running out.
Time is definitely running out. We're coming up on 21 to go as soon as Anderson crosses the stripe this time. So it is definitely running dry. Anderson has dominated this race with the exception of the 5 or 6 laps that Garber managed to lead at the end of that first green flag run. It has been the KA show here this week at Texas, winning the Cup race. He only led 2 laps in that race on Monday night. He has dominated this race, though, leading well over 100 laps.
Caden Anderson, 20 laps to go. Stab now. Caution comes out. Boy, changes everything. By the way, John Ottenbacher's on the pit lane.
Ottenbacher, number 89, on pit lane. Maybe some damage to the number 89 because we could go the distance from where they were if you cut the race in half. Maybe some guys setting themselves up in case of a caution. They might be trying to set themselves up for some track position. Kevin Smith on pit road. Yeah, I think these guys are
Kevin Smith is in.
I think they're setting themselves up to ensure that they can go. Maybe they're thinking that 50, 55 lap run just a little bit too much to risk.
We've had 1 yellow flag, and that was earlier in the race. Since then, it has been all clean and green. Here at Texas, 1 caution. Anderson stabbed now, 1 and 2. O'Hare now. Up to 3rd, there's Tyler King. The 21 truck, Peels Orange's entry. Good run for him. He's in the top 5 right now in 4th.
King in the 21, still searching for that first victory in Northwest Racing Series competition. His teammate O'Hare in front of him has a win this season. He's in 3rd right now in that 41. Has a win at Pocono this year in the number 41 to go with 3 wins last year. Texas, this race last year. Chicago and Talladega to round out the regular season. It was O'Hare winning that truck race. Of course, we talk about the clutch win Dan Lowther had in the Cup Series at Talladega. Stephen O'Hare won the truck race in spectacular fashion. So he has 4 wins to his credit in that 41. But you look at Tyler King right now, the 21. He wants to become the final member of Beaver State Racing to get in the victory lane, as O'Hare, Dennis Moore, and Paul Newton have all won. Paul Newton not here tonight, but he's won 3 times this year.
17 to go. There is Stab now. Greg, I know this. It might not be a win for Anderson unless something happens. It looks like he's got this in the bag. But for Jeff Stab now, this has got to be like a win for the driver of the 24.
He's going to be definitely happy to finish on the podium if he can hold on to it. It's been only a couple of podiums here this year. And remember, it was about a third of the way into the season before we even got to talk to Stab. Now 1 truck on the apron. Who is that?
Was that King? The... Yeah,
I think that was
I thought it was.
One of King.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Tyler King. But he'll still hold on to 4th. And look at BJ Tindrick on pit road. 15 to go. Some of the front runners are pitting. Looking possibly a late race caution. Overtime. Maybe. Settling it up. Garber's in. Casey Garber on pit lane in the 94. Now a lap down in the 94. Just came off the pit lane.
Garber trying to fight his way back up. Remember, he hit the wall while challenging for the lead. Got the fast repair, but he's trying to fight his way back. Greg, now.
Are we thinking they might have to pit again? I mean, almost the entire field has come down on the pit lane.
You know,
Did we miscalculate?
You know Anderson's going to go for it. Brightsman's going to go for it. I think it's just a matter of can they save fuel. We thought they could make it to the end on that fuel run, but hey, maybe some guys saying no, these guys can make it, but you know Anderson, Stab now, they're going to go for it as long as they can.
Our producers, maybe they can try to run down and grab guys like Anderson, Stab now, King. They're thinking 45. Yeah, we were told a tire is 45 on a run and at least 50 to 55 laps on fuel. So when was the last time they did it? Around lap 85, 90, something like that?
Yeah, 85, 90 in that window.
They pitted 38 laps ago was what I was just told in our ear. 38 laps ago they pitted. But here's the thing people don't realize, Greg. When you're really overdriving and using up your car, your equipment, you use up your fuel. You use up your tires a lot quicker than when you're on a regular green flag run where you're just riding, so to speak.
We'll see. So these guys are going into conservation mode right now. Now let's see here. Who has not come down the pits? It looks like the top 7 have yet to come down pit road, all the way back to Gamble and Paulison, so maybe top 8. Brightsman's going for it. Anderson's going for it. Stabnow's going for it. At this point,
King might be going for it. What has King got to lose? He's in 3rd. By the way, 10 laps to go. Next time by. There is Garber. Casey Garber, a lap down. He is in 11th. Ready to settle it in here at No Limits, Texas. 10 laps to go. Kevin Smith and Garber, they battle. That's for 10th and 11th. Trying to run down Dan Lowther into turn number 3, Greg.
Lowther trying to fight. There comes Garber to the inside of Smith. That's been a battle for most of the day.
Lap truck in the way of Lowther, and Garber used it as a pick on Kevin Smith. 9 to go, back to 1.
So we will see how it goes from here on. Anderson has led pretty much since the drop of the hat. And there he is in the 37 trying to hold on. But remember, this bit him at Rockingham trying to go for it, but it wasn't fuel, it was tires. What's going to happen this time? He's got a much bigger cushion, though, than he did that night.
There you see Anderson. He would be the 3rd different driver this year if he pulls it off. 8 remaining, 7 to go this time by. The sweep, and I talked about it, Greg. I talked about it on Monday night. Could he carry that momentum into Texas for the trucks? And he's doing just that. This man has dominated Texas for the truck race. An understatement to what he did in the Cup event. Yeah, he won the Cup race. He has dominated the truck race with 7 to go here tonight.
It has been spectacular watching Anderson dominate this race. And when he was winning those races in a row, it wasn't like, lucking into a win. It was domination from the 37. And here it is again. Inside 10 laps to go. He's led all but 5 laps. Has led since that restart. What a performance by Anderson tonight. A dominating performance. Getting himself back on track. Trying to become the 3rd driver to sweep the week.
6 laps to go. Anderson. Stabnow in 2nd. There he is. Boy, oh boy, he's trying to run him down. I don't think he's got enough time, though. He's got 2 lap trucks in front of him. You do see him in his miss, though, but still. What a job for the 24, the Billings, Montana native, in the 24, in what's been a dismal, not great season in Cup and Truck. Turning it around. Started this race, I believe, in the top 5, and now looking for a 2nd spot. If he can just hang in there. Well, Greg, he doesn't have to worry about 3rd because Tyler King is nowhere around him.
You just got to worry about trying to make it to the end. There's the racetrack king right there. He could get a podium. What a night that would be for him if he can hold on for 3rd.
What a comeback that was going to be also when he got sideways, if you remember. 4 laps to go. No Limits, Texas. They have laid it on the line now here in the Lone Star State Virtual iRacing. 3 races after these final remaining laps to go to the playoffs. On to Phoenix next week. Anderson still leads. 4 to go. We'll make it 3 to go now. As there goes Stabnow. And Tyler King, believe it or not, Greg, I think Tyler King has ran down Jeff Stabnow for the 2nd spot. Going on in turn number 2.
3 laps. Can he get around Stabnow We're going to see a battle for second here to the end. Anderson is checked out. Anderson's bye-bye. But Stab now into number 24. Can he hold off King? O'Hare's back there too. As well, Ryan Bloom. There's a battle for fourth between O'Hare and Bloom.
Wow, great racing there. There you see also the 21 closing in, 2 to go. The battle for second. That might be the race we have to watch because it's one and done for Caden Anderson. Now, Stab now, watching his mirror. Lap truck of Wakefield in front of him. He gets down to the inside, says, have at it, boys. Wakefield down below, 4 wide for a second there. And they come to the line, the white flag, the CRN 1 to go. Final lap for Caden Anderson in his own little world. I think Stab now will hold off Tyler King for second. Back straight away. It is all Caden Anderson for the final time in the third turn.
Through 3 and 4, he can coast from here. Caden Anderson going to become the third driver this year to sweep the week. A dominating performance by him.
Pull out that broomstick, checkered flag. Caden Anderson sweeps Texas Motor Speedway in the Cup and Trucks. His 5th win of the season. What a performance for the driver out of Yakima, Washington. The rest of the field coming across the line in the Race on Texas 200. Caden Anderson getting it done. Greg, what a performance by truck number 37. We wondered if it was a possibility. It has now became a reality 2 nights later.
He does it in dominating fashion. He got the Northwest High Five on Monday. He's going to get it again here tonight.
Here comes the cavalry, I believe led by BJ Tidrick coming after him. Letting him burning it down. Nope, Dan Lowther sends in the first blow.
And it's going to sting.
More. Oh, wow.
That.
Was that Kevin Smith?
Troy Daggett.
No, it's Troy Daggett. Holy cow. Wow. It's our salute to the winners. The LSRTV and CRN coverage of the Northwest High Five. Judd Wakefield putting in a blow there to Anderson. And here comes some more. I hear revving. Whoa! Lowther flying through the air. Audenbacher, Tidrick sent one and puts him in the grass. Happy times, happy times. There's Kevin Smith. Tom Dinchell Automotive Group on his truck out of Hermiston, Oregon. And, of course,
Stab
now flying through the air. It's all good now. He finished second.
Boy, this is one of the better demo derbies of the year.
This is probably one of the best demo derbies we've had. Yeah. So let's take a look at the sawblade.com unofficial results at Texas. Caden Anderson again sweeping the weekend. The interval at 9 seconds at the checkered flag. Boy, he put on the afterburners there to the checkered flag over Jeff Stabnow. Good run for Jeff, though. Feels like a win. Tyler King, he couldn't get Stabnow for third. He'll settle in the 21. Ryan Bloom, fourth. Stephen O'Hare in fifth. Sean Breitzman. What a run for Robert Gamble, Stephen Paulison, Casey Garber, Kevin Smith. All drivers with a top 10 finish at Texas tonight.
Coming home in the second half of the field, Dan Lowther, the 63, first truck 1 lap down. BJ Tidrick, his teammate, 12th, got up as high as the top 5. Good run for him. Unfortunately, not the result he was looking for. Carl Burke, Troy Daggett, John Ottenbacher, the top 15. Brian Reynolds, Dan West Jr. got pinned a lap down after some contact and could never fight his way back up. Finishes 17th. Cooper, Harris, Wakefield, your top 20. We'll give you the final 3 as well really quick here. Lundberg, Vining, and Ritters.
And when we return, we will talk to the top 3 quickly and wrap things up here at Texas. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series tonight in the Race on Texas 200. Of course, Greg Rentz, Wesley Outland, Charles Whitten in production chair. We'll wrap things up here in a moment, but first we'll grab a word with our top 3 drivers here in this Savannah. Of course, 3 races remain with Phoenix next week before the playoffs. Tyler King, the Pills Oranges entry, strong truck, stayed out of trouble, up 11 spots at the checkered flag, and you're on the podium. It's been a while since we talked to you. You're taking the race.
I don't know what you mean by that, Wesley. We're talking almost every week now. But yeah, I had a real bad qualifying effort. I probably should have just run my race setup and qualified right around Stefan, but try to get cute and screw it up there. But I had a good race running through the field. That was a lot of fun. We had a real fast truck. Dennis put a lot of work on this before he went on his vacation for us, and luckily after the update, it was still pretty dang good. Real good on the long run. I feel like we may have been just a little bit better than Caden on the real long runs. I don't know if he made an adjustment after the first pit stop to get a little bit better, because he seemed to be a little bit better on that second run. But unfortunately, I got a little loose off of turn 2 and had a moment and pounded the wall and lost a lot of track time. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it up in the pits.
Well, Tyler, let's talk about that run to the finish, because you were battling it out there with Garber for a while, battling with your teammate O'Hare there at the end. Ryan Bloom coming up into the picture in your mirror, but at the end you were trying to track down Stabnow as well, all the while racing that fuel mileage game. What's going through your mind in those last few laps? You're locked in a 4-truck battle for position, and you're keeping your eye on the fuel gauge. Where do you find that happy medium to try to push it but save it?
Well, you got eyes everywhere. You got an eye on the guy in front of you. You got an eye on your black box. You got an eye in the mirror trying to see where everybody is. There's a lot going on. I tried to save on the beginning of the run just because I was already so far back. I was like, well, maybe I'll be able to play the fuel mileage game and catch them. But I kind of figured that since Caden was so far out and Jeff was so far out, I didn't really have a shot. But I guess Jeff wasn't getting as much fuel mileage as the rest of us in the Fords. But we caught up to him, and I wasn't sure if we were going to quite make it. I was hoping he'd run out, maybe coming out of turn 2 instead of turn 3. But it looks like we both ran out of gas at the same time, and I was able to get just enough of a gap to stay ahead of Ryan. I don't think he was sputtering yet, but I know Stefan was. So, but at that point, there's not much you can do. You just put the pedal to the metal, and hopefully there's a little bit gas left in there.
All right, Tyler, we got to go real quickly, bud. But before we let you go, I want you to thank your sponsors. Third place.
Yeah, Peel's California Mandarins on board every week. American Touch Up on Stefan's truck. Nicole Bryan, photography on Instagram. Check her out. She does awesome work. And thank you guys at LSRTV, everybody at Northwest Racing Series.
The racetrack king, Tyler King, truck 21, third place here tonight at Texas. Second spot, kind of like a win for him, but he said, man, it's my fault. I messed it up trying to run down Caden Anderson for the victory. I saw where you got in the wall before you made your final pit stop. Driver of the number 24 machine out of Billings, Montana. Jeff Stabnow, you're taking the race second. It's a good run.
Yeah, had a real good truck tonight. Just was a little bit off. First run, thought we were really good on the short run, but got a little loose late in the run there and had to give up some spots. Second run, I over-adjusted a little bit in the pits, and we started getting a little bit tight at the end of that run, but it was fast. I mean, I thought we had a little more short run speed than Caden, but man, he drove that thing. I mean, even when I wasn't pressuring him, I'd let guys go so they could pressure him. He was under fire that whole run, and he still saved enough tire to pull away from me at the end of that. So it was a hell of a run by him. And then, I got into that wall, gave up about a couple seconds, got into the pits, and then I spun the tires trying to come off the apron and slid it sideways and, lost another 3 seconds there. Came out of the pits about 5 seconds back. Tried to run him down, just focused on running him down, and spotter comes over the radio with about 6 laps left and says, You got maybe 5 laps of fuel. You got to pit. So I saw the 10-second gap to Tyler, so backed up, used it all up, and still ran out of gas in turn 3.
Well, Jeff, talk to us about the long run there to finish it off. You said your truck was good on the short run. Were you kind of hoping it was going to turn into a race kind of like Monday where we had the frequent cautions there for a little bit between the long runs, and then it turned out we had a pretty much 100-lap run to the finish. So you said the truck was good on the short run, but the longer it went, it seemed like the handle just went away.
Yeah, I had that truck dialed in on that last run. I mean, I used every bit of it up and was able to back off, get some temp out of tires, and come right back at it again. But, I lost too much time on that second series of pits that either Caden was going to have to make a huge mistake or I needed some cautions. I knew that.
Well, we'll let you thank your sponsors, Jeff, and a good run for you tonight, man. Definitely.
Yeah, before I thank my sponsors, apologies to Stephen O'Hare. He was pitting right behind me, but pulled in the pits right in front of me and made some contact. Didn't get any incident points, so I'm not sure if there was damage, but he lost a few spots coming out of the pits, and I think that hurt his night. So apologies to him for that. As far as the sponsors, we got tonight's race sponsor, Race on Texas. Of course, we got the 4K Ford, LSRTV. And, just everybody else who sponsored us throughout the year, whether it's Campfire Cookout, Northwest Sugar, Nicole Brienne Photography. I'm sure I'm missing a couple. We've had more sponsors than that. But, and a big Tom Denchel Auto. They got cars, man. They do everything online. Go to tomdenchelauto.com. They've been a huge help for us putting that on this year. And, of course, thanks to you guys for the fantastic job you do there with this production.
All right, that's the driver, of course, of Jeff Stabnow, second here tonight. Victory lane we go. The question has now been answered. We asked it on Monday night after he picked up his first win of the season of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series at Texas. He dominated tonight in the trucks. Once we had the battle between Garber and Stabnow subside, the driver out of Yakima, Washington, Caden Anderson, congratulations to you, buddy. Pull out that virtual broomstick. You did it.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like early on in this race, I feel like we were struggling a little bit on long run speed, and we made quite a bit of adjustments throughout the race to make it better. And I think we just ended up having a good car all the way throughout the race and not making any mistakes. So it feels pretty cool to sweep the weekend, or week, I should say, and it's given us good momentum going into the playoffs.
Caden, a tale of two races this week, man. Monday night, you win the race, but you only led 2 laps the entire night. Tonight, you lead all but pretty much 4 or 5 of them, a dominating performance. How much work did you put into that setup this week to get that truck the way it was?
I got to give all my thanks to Team Ramrod and Dan Lowther and BJ Titrick. I really did. My setup didn't really come out where we wanted it to, and so we switched over to the team, and they gave us quite a bit of help. And throughout the whole race, BJ and Dan were giving me suggestions, so can't thank them enough for giving me a good setup to compete here tonight.
Caden, what does it mean, bud, to obviously your 5th win on the season for the trucks, but carrying a lot of momentum going into the playoffs? You thinking championship runs?
I think we have a good shot at championship. There's a lot of strong competitors in here that are also running for it. So I feel like this has given us some good confidence and momentum going in, and I'm gonna try my best.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. Before we let you go, thank your sponsor.
Yeah, I want to thank Harvest Chevrolet, Team Ramrod, and then I want to thank LSRTV for putting this all on.
Caden Anderson pulling out a broomstick and sweeps at No Limits, Texas. The driver, the number 37 out of Yakima, Washington. And then now, 3 races remain till the playoffs next Monday and Wednesday night for the Northwest Racing Series at Phoenix Raceway. And, of course, the Land of Cactus and the Valley of the Sun should be a good one. Greg Rentz, your thoughts of tonight at Texas. We wrap up this chapter. We get ready for Phoenix next week.
Another fantastic race here at Texas onto a very vastly different racetrack in Phoenix, Arizona. Again, we talked about it, hosted the championship race last year. This year, it's the regular season, so going to be a little bit of a different vibe entering the Arizona desert than what we had last year, but still can expect more of the same. Produce some fantastic racing, always one of the most popular tracks on the server, and again, cannot wait to get back there to the desert Monday night with the Cup Series on the the fixed set. Wednesday night with the truck series again on the open set. These guys are going to be turning in a lot of practice laps. It's getting down to crunch time. Just 3 races to go to the playoffs. I can't wait to see what happens.
And the next broadcast on your home for sim racing will be Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with coverage of the LTAC Cup Series as their playoffs continue. Daytona should be a wild one from the Virtual World Center of Racing. We will have it for you beginning on Friday night. For everybody at Rocket Media, for Jeff Stabnow and for Sweden, the production chair, for Greg Rance, I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations again to Caden Anderson sweeping No Limits Texas. It's on to Phoenix next week. Follow them always at Northwest Racing Series, at LSRTV, and at CRN Sports on social media. Be good to one another. Thank you for watching and listening.